the last time you did this, you lost quite late.
Oh no, I didn't.
Trying to get ready for today.
I didn't know where the story was going.
I haven't tried anything hard yet. I'll do full kickoff. Take the Steve without taking the soluble aspirin.
Okay.
Took 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening.
You're only halfway there.
Is it like 2 every 4 hours? Not like you take 12 a day. Set your arm every 4 hours on
Good afternoon and welcome to Deakin Stadium for NPL Grand Final action. It's the under-20s Monaro Panthers versus Belconnen United. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator for this one, leading into the big game later on this afternoon, of course. Joining me, as always this season, Steve Forshaw. Steve, commiserations first off on the under-18s Grand Final. Your team beaten 1-0 this morning. Disappointing end to the season for you guys.
Disappointing end to a good season, though, and congratulations to the Riverina Rhinos who deserved the win this morning. So they'll be enjoying a pleasant trip back up that highway to Griffith with that trophy in tow. So, yeah, congratulations to them. But our boys played well, just weren't up for the day.
It's what can happen in grand finals, isn't it? It happens so often that teams that finish top of the table or up near the top are turned over on the big day itself. This one here should be interesting. Let's look at the two teams starting off. Monaro Panthers, who finished the season in second place. Ram Moxon in goal, but 4 across the back. Braulio Mello, Joshua Rolfe, Jared Bain and Bruno Mello. Jason Baxter in the holding midfield, Nicholas Felici and Michael Piccolo in front of him. 3 up front, Mitchell Jervis-Hamilton, Lachlan Hunter and Marshall Smith. So smattering of first grade players in there as well, Steve, that's had experience, and it looks like a good side.
Yeah, well, both of these teams come into the grand final having beaten Gungahlin on the way through. Monaro finished second in the competition. They've got quite some talent. The Lockie Hunter, who plays up front, has been prolific in front of goals. Baxter in the holding role in midfield's a decent player, and the 2 creative midfielders in front of him are handy as well. From Belconnen's point of view, this is a really good late run, a surge into the grand final on the back of some really good form.
Let's look at their team. Deacon Jewell in goal, 4 across the back as well. Bailey Toscan, Harry Williams, who we've seen in first grade this season, and Nick Dahl alongside him. Nick Masters at left back. Luca Maycor and Jacob Scott in midfield. Just in front of them, Lucas Maragis up front. Midwell De Silva, Sam Hampton-Marion, Sam Withier. What it looks like, Steve, is that there's bags of pace in that team.
There's a lot of talent, a lot of pace, a lot of power. It's a very, very decent under-20 side from Belconnen. I'm expecting a really good game. Both teams in good form. Belconnen, depending on your point of view, had the added advantage of playing last week, and that can actually keep your momentum going, whereas Monaro have had that week off, and it remains to be seen whether that does, in fact, have an influence.
Finals football, obviously anything can usually happen, and that's borne out by the fact that Steve mentioned Gungahlin United won this league by 10 points. They finished 14 points clear of 4th place Belconnen, knocked out in straight sets in the finals, beaten 4-2 by Gungahlin United here in the qualification final, and then hammered 4-0 last week at the preliminary final stage by the Blue Devils. And it's the Blue Devils who get us underway early on with Jacob Scott attacking the goal to our right in this first half. We're expecting plenty of action and plenty of goals in this match. Early free kick. The referee today is Georgie Girardello, Hamish Driver-Ray and Delphina Demoski on the lines. Alex McConaughey, the 4th official. Steve, what are your thoughts? Who do you think is going to come out on top?
Look, they're two decent sides, so I think the team that probably starts better will go on to win it. But the first 20 minutes will be instructive.
Whittier with a free kick, swings it towards the far post. Coming in to win the header was Miguel da Silva, but his height let him down just unfortunately. Couldn't get it above the ball, and no threat on Ryan Moxon's goal.
Yeah, like I was saying, the first 20 minutes I think will be instructive, and the team that settles better, uses the ball, keeps possession well, will probably run out winners. But it's a knockout game. Anything can happen, as you quite rightly point out.
Here's Da Silva. Ball bounces off the heel of Miragis. Challenge on this near side by Marshall Smith, and he's penalised. Free kick to Belconnen, right in front of the commentary position. Luka Mako will take. Williams finds Dahl at the back. He scored the winning goal in the grand final a couple of years ago, didn't he, Nick Dahl?
Last year, yeah.
Last year
Against Olympic. And he's been overseas this year, and that's why he sort of found himself in the 20s. He went to the World Cup in Russia, had a ball, and has come back to sort of help out in the run into the grand final.
See how he settles. A couple of shirt number changes on the Belconnen defence. So we'll figure that one out for you. Throw into Monaro just in front of their bench. Felici, and then Baxter sends it forwards. There's Toscan. Down towards Da Silva, can't keep it in play. Well, one by Toscan again. Fullback's going to get a second chance to nod this one forwards. Miragis bringing it forward. Nice touch wide towards Da Silva. Couldn't keep it in play though. Early signs are that it's going to be a tight one between these two, as it was in the two matches during the season. At the Riverside Stadium in round 6, it was Belconnen who won. We'll come back to that in a minute, because here's a chance straight away. Breaking into the penalty area, real opportunity, and a goal for Monaro Panthers inside 5 minutes. Beautifully tucked away, got in behind. And Piccolo, I think it is, has given Panthers the lead. Just caught square at the back there, Steve.
Yeah, it's not a good start for the boys in blue. They've been picked apart with a lovely ball, lovely run, great finish.
He's a renowned goal scorer, isn't he? We see here, Steve, he's in on goal. Michael Piccolo, keeper came out and just slotted it underneath him into the far post. Lovely tuck from Michael Piccolo. Early start for the Panthers, they lead.
And, you know, I was saying that I think the team that settles best will go on to win it, and Monaro got the noses in front. It'll be hard. They've proved to be good front runners all year, so they'll be hard to peg back.
Ironically, I was about to talk about the two games they played earlier this season, one of which was at McKellar Park, and Piccolo scored twice in a 4-2 win for the Panthers, and he's off the mark again here, and Panthers looking lively early on. Here's Smith, looking to take on Toscan. Good run this by Marshall Smith into the air, still going, and they needed Williams to stick a foot out. Still battling away, Smith, and he's done very well to win his side a corner.
Marshall Smythe, the ex-Tuggeranong player, played with the under-18s, under-20s at Tuggeranong, and has moved across to Monaro to sort of further his career. But that was a great run.
He's got a Y in his name. They tell me it's Smith. I'm not sure.
I'll go with you.
They said beforehand, but yeah, young Tuggeranong talent, now gone to the Panthers. Started sharply. One inside a corner, which he'll take himself. Hunter is obviously a target here. Big frame of the centre forward. Baxter's loitering around the 6-yard box as well. That's in towards the far post, and Deacon Jewell got half a fist on it. Belconnen looking a little rattled.
Yeah, they've just been exposed down this right-hand side. Bailey Toscan is usually very, very consistent defender, has just looked a little shaky. And they'll need to settle and get themselves back into the game, which they're capable of doing, but they'll need to do it quickly.
This is Bruno Mello, one of the twins. His brother on the other flank, Braulio. They give that away there, and Belconnen looking for a response. Here's a chance, breaking in for Makor. Good piece of defending at the back by Jared Bain. Not once, but twice. Concedes the corner.
Yeah, good cover. Great run from midfield from McCaw. Took him in behind, and Miguel played him in nicely, but really good defending by Bain.
First set piece from a corner for the Blue Devils. Chance for them to throw some bigger players forward. Interesting, Williams stays back. Swung into that near post. Moxon Kane got a fist on it. And the drive from distance, always over the crossbar.
Jacob Scott, who's playing one of the two anchors for Belconnen, not renowned for his goal-scoring prowess, but does pop up with a spectacular one every now and then.
Wearing the captain's armband today, in the middle of the park. Both keepers looking a bit shaky on crosses at the moment, Steve, in the early stages.
Yeah, Mrs. Jewel in Samoa, who's watching this game, I understand, has taken it live. She'll be hoping that her son does really well. So good afternoon in Samoa.
It's pretty nice and warm over there, I'd imagine. I don't really know, but I'd imagine it would
so,
be.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's not too bad here, is it? It's quite balmy and mild.
It's lovely. It's lovely. The rain can hold off. It's just getting a bit dark over there, and if it can hold off, we should have a lovely day.
Well, let's hope so, because we've got a special grand final preview show from 4:30 live here on Bar TV Sports for the NPL grand final this afternoon. Myself and Steve Forshaw will be building up to the action ahead of Canberra FC versus Canberra Olympic a little bit later on. 4:30 that will start. 5 o'clock kickoff for the match. We'll be discussing tactics and who we think is going to influence the outcome and all sorts. So probably not worth tuning in then, is it? Here's Jewel. Be the first, though, for football in Canberra at that level for us to have a pre-match discussion.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It sort of adds a little bit of colour and character to the telecast.
Here's Hampton Merriam, dancing away from the challenges, does really well there. Flicks the ball out wide, and here's a chance for Belconnen to get bodies into the area, and half cleared. It might fall here for Miragis, and it's been blocked on the line. Good piece of defending at the back by Joshua Rolfe. It was looked for all certainty like it was going to be an equaliser when it broke from Miragis after good play from Whittier down the left.
Eerily similar to the way the under-18s final started, with Belconnen being on top and creating chances but not able to find the back of the net, and ultimately were punished for a goalkeeping error and some sloppy defending and lost 1-0. And I hope history isn't about to repeat itself.
That's with your Belconnen hat on, of course.
Of course.
If you're a Monaro fan, you're enjoying it so far. They're 1-0 up. I have to defend this corner first, though. Plenty of time still to go. We've only played just under 10 minutes. Swung towards the edge there. Scott's lining this one up. That would have been fairly spectacular. Dahl's battling away with Bain. Hunters gets involved as well. Falls for Scott. Toscan. Start again at the back with Williams. Dahl. The Masters couldn't keep it in. We're talking earlier, Steve, just to reiterate what we're doing for the grand final show. We will be hearing from Canberra FC coach Paul Makor and Canberra Olympic coach Frank Keisha in that warm-up period as well. So that's interesting that they're going to come and have a quick chat with us.
Yeah, I should imagine that for Frank it's become quite routine, 4 in a row. For Paulo McCaw, it's his first one as in charge, and they're looking for the treble, of course.
Something that Olympic have done themselves over season before last.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what they've got to say.
So that'll all be from 4:30, leading into a 5 o'clock kickoff for first grade grand final. We're watching the under-20s here live on Bar TV Sports. Women are Panthers lead 1-0. And a reminder as well, if you're into the women's NPL tomorrow, we'll have live coverage of the preliminary final between Canberra SC and Canberra United Academy from McKellar Park. So plenty of football live on Bar TV Sports. Here's Scott in midfield. Looks for the run in behind of De Silva. The flag goes up. Good job too.
Yeah, he was offside, no doubt about it, but it's the sort of run that takes you in behind defenders that Monaro are going to have to be really, really careful with. The goalkeeper got to it first on that occasion, and he was offside, but I think it's a smart move to try and get that sort of outside to inside run in between the fullbacks and the central defenders, and it'll cause problems.
Mentioned Michael Piccolo scoring twice in the 4-2 win at McKellar Park earlier in this year. He's had one chance so far and buried it. That's a player that's played a bit of first-grade football as well, Steve, and you can see why. It's a great challenge, that, by the way, from number 19, Joshua Rolfe, coming across. Makes a difference if you've got those kind of players.
Absolutely. I mean, it's that sort of experience gives you the composure you need to finish, and he took it really well, did he not?
Yeah, tucked it superbly. Didn't look like missing, really, did he?
No.
Here's Maycord, nice 1-2. Exchanging passes with Haptomerium as well, but Baxter gets a foot in. Masters thought about it from ridiculous range. Instead, chose to find Maycord. Now Whittier swings it in. Good ball too. Mirages was there. Went for the Ibrahimovic-style flick when a header may have been a better option, but...
Interesting that he's gone with his foot there. He's actually carrying 7 stitches in his eyebrow at the moment. He got a head clash in the semi-final last week. And there was some talk that he may not start today because of that. And we were talking during the week about if he needs to head it, will he? And we've just seen an example of perhaps he isn't going to.
That's a great ball in from Sam Whittier, wasn't it, from out wide? It was begging to be headed. Chance goes missing. You have to say that since they've conceded, Belconnen have looked very good. Here's Toscan. Rolfe, who in turn has looked solid at the back for the Panthers.
Some of the Belconnen ball movement, passing and movement is really good. They're just waiting for that final pass and then an effective finish.
You mentioned finals football, it's what it does to you. 14 points off the pace at the end of the season. Snuck into the finals by 2 points from the Tigers. And here we are, 3 weeks later, watching them having beaten Canberra Olympic 3-2, having beaten Gungahlin 4-0, going for the big one.
Yeah, and in the Tigers game, in the last game of the season, they were losing 2-1 with a few minutes to go and sneaked an equaliser to put them in the top 4.
That's football for you, isn't it?
Well, it played for 90 minutes.
Well, looks like this one's going to be a close one. Dahl's there. Masters will keep it in. Whittier. Back to Dahl again. Belconnen looking extremely comfortable in possession. Well, it's far too early to say the Panthers have eased off, but they haven't had much ball since they've taken the lead.
No, Belconnen will be reasonably happy with the response to conceding. They've played some decent football. They've created a good chance for Moragas, and he should have probably done better. But Monaro have soaked up the pressure. They haven't conceded too many chances. They haven't conceded a lot of territory, and they're still in the game in terms of the amount of possession they've had. So Belconnen need to be on their toes.
That was Mitchell Jervis-Hamilton who was brought down. This is Bain launching the free kick into the area. Jewell came, collected it nicely. Distribution is good too. Braulio Mello looking for the challenge. And this is Brother who's going to be stretched on this side. As De Silva gets away. Miguel De Silva. Haptomerium arriving. Real chance this for Belconnen. That's a great stop by Ryan Moxon. Spread himself beautifully to deny Haptomerium the equaliser.
That's a wonderful piece of goalkeeping and a clever piece of transition football from Belconnen. Sammy Haptomerium comes into the game under an injury cloud, and he'll be a little disappointed that he hasn't scored there, but you've got to give all credit to the goalkeeper who's made a fantastic save.
It's a big presence, isn't he, Ryan Moxon, in that goal, and he spread himself to his full height there to deny Haptomerium. Belconnen sniffing for an equaliser though. Here's Whittier bursting forwards, eased off the ball and a goal kick. They've looked lively since they've gone behind. I was talking about the twins, fullback Braulio Mello and Bruno Mello. Yeah. Apparently they're half Uruguayan, half Chilean, which I'm told isn't a usual occurrence.
No. I know they've been at a few clubs throughout their embryonic career. They were at Tuggeranong for a little while, and I know Tony Oliveira is very close to them, rates them very, very highly.
Talking to Paolo Romero, the head coach of the Mara Panthers, he says he tells them apart by their boots. So one of them's wearing orange boots. Well, one of them's wearing orange and blue today. The other one's got orange tinges on his. So I'm going to go with the numbers. That seemed to be the easiest way of doing it. Bruno Mello on this left-hand side, who will take the throw-in. Be unusual. I'm not sure how many twins would have played in grand finals in the past before. At any level. My research doesn't stretch back that far, unfortunately. If anyone knows, feel free to drop us a line and we'll mention it in first grade. Masters is chasing. Jervis Hamilton putting him under the pressure. Big day for the match officials as well, Steve, of course.
Yeah, well, it's a big day for everybody involved.
Just to talk a little bit about the under-18s, as we mentioned it earlier on, Belconnen lost 1-0 to Riverina Rhinos. Missed penalty. Good save, in fact, by the goalkeeper in the first instance. Would have put Belconnen ahead. Come back to that in just a second, because here's a chance for Felici on the edge of the box. Thought about shooting, I think. Thought better of it. Might have been an opportunity to do so. Here's Felici again. Nice touch that is to Mello. When he slides it through for Piccolo into the area. And that should be a corner. In fact, what's she giving here? Giving a goal kick?
I think she might have given the free kick. But it might be taken from the goal kick spot. I mean, it was 6 and 2 threes, I think.
Yes, I mentioned the under-18, Steve. A penalty save and then a missed on the rebound, which would have given Belconnen the lead. And then against the run of play, you'd say perhaps Riverina scoring the winning goal. But good for Riverina, good for their region. See their under-18s boys.
I mean, from a neutral perspective, the fact that they've had some success last year, their under-14s won a grand final. Lost in the grand final, but won a minor premiership. And this year, their under-18s have finished runners-up and out, taking the gold medal in the big dance. So from a capital football point of view, the inclusion of the Riverina is starting to bear fruit. The downside of that is the fact that the 20s didn't finish the season, and that's a little disappointing in itself.
Yeah, speaking to some of their officials after the game today, and they're showing me that they're doing their best to next season to make sure that doesn't happen, and that they'll get the numbers up. Apparently that group of under-18s as well, most of those boys are 16, 17, could go around again next year as well.
Well, there's 4 or 5 of them that play first grade this year and on a regular basis as well. So from a Belconnen point of view, you're probably going against a more experienced group.
Even though they're younger, it's funny, it's one of those oxymorons.
Yeah, but the Belconnen lads, some of them have only just turned 15 this year, so there's a lot of them that can go around and a lot of inexperience in that group.
It's a chance for Miragis down the flank. Breaks for Scott. Pressure on Luca Mako, and he's lucky to get away with that one.
Jacob Scott and Lucas Miragis are actually housemates. They actually both hail from down the south coast and have come to Canberra over the last 3 or 4 years to try and make a career of their football. And Jacob Scott boards with the Miragis family.
It's a great challenge out from Baxter. Chance for Smith. Couldn't get past his man, Mello. Plenty of time for him. Looking for an option. Finds Hunter. Not really been in it at the moment, Lachlan Hunter, is he?
No. But it's probably as a function of the fact that Belconnen had just started to dominate possession a little bit.
He scored twice here in the qualification final against Gungahlin United in the 4-2 win, and also scored in both matches against Belconnen this season as well. He's
prolific up front. He's a big lad, as you can see. Does really well in the air. He's not too bad on the ground, although the last pass would probably suggest he could do better. But I think he's one of the danger men in the Monaro lineup.
Here he is challenging. Doesn't win the header. He's flicked back towards his own goal by Felici. Moxon's happy to take control. Toscan, good header forward. Nice touch by Maker as well to Scott. And Morogis was too heavy in the control, and here's Baxter. Just like his old man there, controlling the middle of the park in front of the defence there.
Yeah.
His dad, Jimmy Baxter, very famous name in football in Canberra.
Probably a little bit more mobile than his dad these days.
You'd hope so. Jimmy Baxter, who took over the Monaro Panthers' first grade job towards the end of the season when they parted ways with Zoran Glavinic. Tells me he's not going to take it on full-time next season.
Is that right?
Hasn't expressed an interest, apparently, so I think he's going to take some time off.
Well, it is a massive commitment if you are going to take on a job. It doesn't really matter whether you're a good team, bad team or indifferent. The commitment from the coaching staff is massive.
Panthers' first grade will be hoping for a better season next year. Bit of a truncated year, wasn't it? Up and down for them in terms of results. They were close in a number of games.
Well, I think they were competitive in both matches, but they just lacked that quality to get them over the line. We did a couple of games where, you know, against the Tigers at Gugong, I remember them being well and truly in the game. And
they hit the woodwork about 4 times, didn't they? They were 3-0 up against Tuggeranong in the first grade game and lost as well. Here's De Silva for Belconnen dancing into the penalty area. Still going. I'd thought about it for a minute as Rolf stuck a leg out.
Yeah, a little bit indecisive there. I mean, he's looked up and tried to find a teammate, but in the end has decided that one more touch around a defender is the best option. Unfortunately, he runs it out of play.
As I said, though, since going behind, Deacon Jewell in the Belconnen goals have very little to do. It's been mostly Belconnen with possession.
Yeah, they haven't created a hell of a lot. 2 reasonable chances. One where Haptamarian should have done better, and Moragas might have done better with the ball in from Whittier. But
it's Haptamarian. Sorry, Steve, just dancing through again. Good challenge by Felici. Sorry, Steve, to interrupt you there.
No, I'm just saying that, you know, for the weight of possession they haven't created a lot of chances, but they're certainly well on top in terms of the possession stakes.
Makor, lovely ball out wide, that is, towards Whittier. He's looked dangerous cutting in from that flank, as he has done in first grade for a lot of the year. Here's Scott. It's tidy in the middle of the park. Whittier again. Now Masters. Whittier. Scott. De Silva. Slightly heavy touch. Rolf gets rid of it, but with no real conviction. Scott again. Buzzes around that midfield. Moragas looks to switch to this near side. Mello needs to be alert. Puts it back into the danger area. Chance here for De Silva. Lovely touch. On a beautiful save again from Moxon to deny Miguel De Silva what would have been an outstanding equaliser. Great football all round.
It was. Moragas he's naturally left-footed and he's got the ball into the box. Clearance, not the best one I've ever seen in my life. But Miguel De Silva's little turn here opens up the far side of the goal. Decides to go near post. Great save.
Super stop down low by Moxon to deny De Silva what would have been the level. It's still 1-0 midway through the first half here in the Under-20s Grand Final, live on Bar TV Sports.
That's 2 great chances squandered.
2 great saves as well. Ball in, cleared by Hunter. Makor. Will it be third time lucky for the Blue Devils? Head knock in the middle of the park and the referee decides to stop the game. You begin to wonder, don't you, Steve, in Grand Finals when keepers are making 2 saves like that, if you're on the receiving end of them, that maybe it's not going to be your day.
Oh, look, and that's what happens in cup football. And Grand Finals are exactly the same as cup football. You can dominate possession, you can be the better team on the day, but you don't take your chances. They go down the other end, pop one in, game over. It happens so regularly that Belconnen will be slightly worried that they've not been able to get this goal back.
You still have the weight of possession. He's Haptamarian. Beaten to it by Mello. Last touch by Jervis Hamilton. Baxter. Mello again. And for a third time, but Masters is there with him. Dahl will need to be careful and closed down very quickly by the goal scorer Piccolo.
I think they're just a little square, the Belconnen back 4. You just see that in that last passage of play, the ball was intercepted, but if it got through, there was no cover on. Just something that Belconnen need to watch.
Baxter. And Scott is leading by example, isn't he?
Oh, he's
Skipper.
hot energy, Jacob Scott. I mean, he was the captain of the under-18 team at Belconnen last year that won the grand final. And he loves the big occasion.
Hunter hooks that one over his head. It's harmless enough. See the substitutes today. See Belconnen United have named Finn Durack, their first grade goalkeeper, in an outfield shirt.
Yeah, he's actually played the last couple of semi-finals as a substitute on the park. And done reasonably well.
Here's Baxter, finds Smith in the area, and that's a good piece of defending by Toscan to deny him. Decisive through ball, though, from Baxter.
It was, but it was, again, a cheap turnover in midfield, and Belconnen conceded the first goal similarly, and have almost paid the price again.
Still not out of the woods just yet. Corner for the Panthers. It's a poor one this time, and Scott easily clears. Second chance back for Smith. Cuts away from one. Looks for Hunter.
McCaw gets in, snaps into the challenge and tidies up for him. But Jacob's got he'll sleep well tonight. He doesn't half work hard.
Panthers look quite lively going forwards.
Yeah, they do.
Study your picture here. Samuel Hampton-Marion stretching out.
Yeah,
An
they've
injury
got
of some description.
they've got substitutes warming up as well. He came in under an injury cloud, and it may well be that his day's over.
Offside. Free kick is given. He was just down there stretching a calf there, it looked like, or something, didn't it?
Yeah, calf or hammy, I think.
Yeah.
He
Keep
doesn't
an eye
look
on
happy.
that.
Yeah, he doesn't look happy. Of course, his brother might have been playing this afternoon for one of the, or both of the two grand final teams after his...
One of the strange things of this season, that's up towards me and you, Steve. Yeah, one of the strange things this season was the registration of Jeremy Hampton-Marion and how it didn't go through, and transfer from Olympic to Canberra FC didn't happen, but it will next season. It's a lovely bit of skill by Felici. Nicholas Felici's played a fair bit of futsal, and you can see it, he's very comfortable in tight spaces. Backed in a bucketful when he was young in the junior Premier Leagues in futsal.
He's a very technically correct player, isn't he?
Here he is.
Uses the ball well, got a good first touch.
Calmly done from Bruno Mello.
Well, in terms of nullifying the Belconnen resurgence, keeping possession like that is a good move.
He's been pretty calm, this fullback Mello, hasn't he? Gives it away on that occasion to Silva. He's looked lively. Hampton-Mariam's challenge. He's going to forfeit to Silva again. Good ball too, but he's overhit that just a little. For Whittier.
Saw it, made the right decision, but execution not quite up to scratch.
For me, Steve, I'm not sure about you, with 17 minutes to go in the first half, De Silva looks like Belconnen's most likely route back into this at the moment.
He's certainly been on his game. I think, he'd be a little disappointed with the chance that he missed. The turn to do the defender was fantastic, but then the finish not quite up to it. But he's been available on this right-hand side. He's causing all sorts of problems for Monaro as the outball on behalf of Belconnen. And I think if they can use him a little better, they're a chance.
Here he is. Nice touch forward. Now here's Mirages. Looking to run at Bain, and he's passed him, Rolf rather, and he's passed him into the penalty area. That's Bain with the clearance.
Belconnen just guilty then of not having people attacking the near post, and the chance goes begging.
No nonsense from Bain again, and that's nicely done by Smith. And a good battle on this near side with Toscan. Runs into Maycor. And whistle goes for a free kick. Maybe something after the ball.
I think that's a handball. You didn't give him there.
Didn't see it myself.
No.
That's why I'm not refereeing.
Absolutely.
Fleetsy goes to Baxter. Hunter. Nice ball from Felici to Smith. Flag goes up though.
The coach killer. Got all day to look across the line, and you get caught offside there. It's a head shaker.
It's building some momentum, that move, wasn't it?
It was good football. Yeah.
Belconnen led off the hook somewhat. Still looking for a way back into it. That 4th-minute goal from Michael Piccolo separating the two sides. Well, that's a good touch. Back to Moxon, who's made 2 outstanding saves to keep the Panthers in front.
Looks extremely competent, doesn't he, as a goalkeeper? Very much in charge of his box. Made 2 great saves.
And then throws it away. And now here's Hampton-Mariam, and Moxon's come to deny him. Steve's just giving him the commentator's kiss of death there.
I don't rate him.
That always happens, doesn't it? I was waiting for it to happen as soon as you started praising him. Lovely touch from Hunter. Flag stays down against Smith. He's got Piccolo arriving in the middle right now, and he's volleyed it over the crossbar when it really should have been 2-0. Lovely movements, good ball in, and Piccolo just couldn't find the finish.
No, a bit unfortunate, because that should have been 2-0. They cut him up really, really quickly down the Monaro left. And the ball in's a good one. And he just gets in there in front of Masters, who may just have done enough to put him off. The ball goes over the bar.
Just got too much on it, didn't he? It should be a foul. The silver brought down by Melo. It's one of those ones, if you get a little bit less on it, you probably score.
Absolutely. And the touch towards the near post was a good one because Deacon Jewell was beaten, I think.
If it was on target, it was a goal all the way, for sure. But lovely touch from Hunter in the build-up, showing you what he's capable of, and a good ball in from Smith, who's giving Bailey Toscan a rough ride down this near flank. Much as Whittier's giving Braulio Melo one on the other. That should be offside against Hunter, and it is. These individual matchups, Steve, that often are vital to the outcome of games.
Well, both coaches will be saying if you can win your individual battles against your immediate opponent, then it'll go a long way to winning the game. If you can establish a sort of platform of dominance, then you're a big show. And at the moment, it's a relatively even contest. Belconnen shade in possession, created a couple of good chances, but might have found themselves 2 down.
Lovely ball from Williams, looking for Whittier, and he brings it under his spell in the area. Whittier hits the post. Can De Silva follow up? He can't. Scott's there. Pressure still on Mako from distance, and Moxon pushes it over the crossbar with a two-handed save. Once again, the Panthers keeper coming up trumps.
Well, it's a wonderful ball that finds Whittier in the first instance, and his touch is absolutely exquisite. Unlucky with the hit the post. The follow through, they defend reasonably well. Out to Makor, and this is a great strike. What a save.
Technique on that was spectacular from Makor, and what a save from Moxon. That's a hat-trick of good stops from the keeper.
Yeah, he's looking at the Monaro man of the match mug at the moment.
Looking at the games man of the match mug at the moment, you'd think. Can they hold out, though? The Blue Devils are just all over them.
Told you he was a good goalkeeper.
You weren't lying, Steve. That one moment. That's a free kick. Scott pulls back.
And gets his comeuppance.
Flattened into his own player, wasn't it? Mitchell Jervis-Hamilton brought down.
But Bailey Toscan, in attempting the post-whistle clearance, has collected Mr. Scott in a place that
Here it is right here.
We all find it funny, but it's not.
Right in front of us here. Poor old Jacob Scott.
Yeah, come on, Rebecca.
She definitely wore that one.
Rebecca Keating coming on there to see how he's going. I'm not sure she's going to be able to fix that.
No. Just pulled back on Mitchell Jervis-Hamilton there. And
definite free kick.
let's just say he's winded.
He's wounded.
Friendly fire from Bailey Toscan. Here it is again, Steve. There's the foul, and less said about that, the better.
Yeah, I think Bailey Toscan was just suggesting don't give free kicks away in that sort of area.
Poor lad is in front of us here getting some treatment. Game goes on around him. Saw one.
Yeah. I mean, we're stood up in the stands and I can see his eyes watering from here.
Yeah. We laugh, but if it had been us as well, we know what he's feeling like. They're not good. Not good at all.
No.
And I'm sure he'll recover once he gets his win back. In the meantime, Rolf has it at the back for the Panthers. Piccolo. Felici.
Immediately space opens up in the middle of the park.
Yeah, Jervis-Hamilton on his bike, he saw it. Looks to get in the area, and the shot comes in, but it's deflected and will trickle away in the end. In fact, he shanked it slightly.
Yeah, just cut across it.
Jacob Scott is walking up and down. He looks like he might be okay. Gets an apology from Bailey Toscan.
He's just handing him back part of his anatomy.
Found it on the field. Here's Dahl. Belconnen playing with 10 at the moment. Waiting for their skipper to rejoin the fray. Hunter. Now Baxter. Can Monaro take advantage of the extra man? Here's Piccolo into the area. Down he goes. Decision to be made. Penalty, I think, or is it free kick right on the edge? It's a free kick right on the edge of the box.
Yeah, and that's a 100% correct decision. It was a foul and it was outside the box. He's got that 100% correct. And once again, Belconnen opened up.
Here it is. Piccolo gets the touch, and it's a good call. It's just outside the area, isn't it?
Yeah.
Still a good chance, though. Jarrett Bain has tucked the ball under his arm, and with those yellow boots, I feel like he's going to smash this.
I don't think there'll be anything delicate about it. I'm not anticipating.
There's a card come out there, Steve. Is that for the skipper?
I think, I think it must have been for dissent, because certainly the person that got the card wasn't responsible for the free kick.
So Bain is behind this.
I think if I was Belconnen, I'd be trying to drop somebody a little deeper onto a post here because they can't afford to go into half-time two behind.
I was having a chat with Marshall Smith. There's another card come out as well.
And that was for Luca McCaw, who did, in fact, give the free kick away.
So both midfielders in the book within the space of a few seconds. The Wolves retreated, and I think we're going to see some venom.
Absolutely, that's a big 10 yards.
It's a long way, isn't it? It's probably right, though, from the edge of the box to almost just outside the 6 yards.
Yeah, yeah.
So will it be Bain? We're guessing it will be. Curls it over the wall, and it just doesn't get enough dip on it. Went for the placement rather than the power in the end. And
yeah, surprising because he's a big lad, and I thought this is going to be, let's just hit it as hard as we can and hope for the best. And unfortunately, he's gone the delicate side.
Everything we've seen him as a defender at the moment has been safety first and putting his foot through it, so I thought he may well do the same. Instead, he's tried the chip. It didn't quite work. Another warning sign, though, that if Belconnen keep turning over ball like they've done again there's going to be trouble, and there is trouble again because onside, and out came the keeper once more. Jewel denies Piccolo again. And that turnover of possession in the middle of the park is causing Belconnen all sorts of issues, and Monaro sharp enough to take advantage.
Absolutely. Their forward play is really good. They're actually catching Belconnen as they're disorganised. You know, the move broke down when Belconnen were in possession, when Nicky Dale tried to play a longer pass forward and turn the possession over, and they've done it again.
Smith with Toscan. Smith has it. He'll take on Toscan. And he's away from the fullback. Still going, Marshall Smith into the area, and in the end it takes Harry Williams to block the third of the three Blue Devils defenders. Looking lively.
They are. I mean, individually, they're causing Belconnen all sorts of problems, particularly down this left-hand side. And Smith is giving Toscan a run around.
He certainly is at the moment. Panthers looking to extend their lead. 8 minutes to half-time. Swung in a Jewel. Did he get a touch on it? I think he did.
Yeah, it's a corner ball. But after Belconnen had a welter of possession and created those two or three chances, and the goalkeeper kept them in at the other end, Monaro have come back into this, and it seems to have followed the slight injury to Jacob Scott. They've been able to get a foothold in the game while he was off the park, and they haven't, they haven't let that go.
I'll tell you what, if Jewel's not getting a touch on that may have drifted in. Ball swung in again, the flag's up. In and out of play, goal kick. It's an important touch that from Deacon Jewel looking at the replay.
Absolutely. I mean, he's not the biggest goalkeeper in the world, and balls into his far post like that over the top are going to cause him problems, but he did extremely well there.
Williams. Scott, thankfully, fully recovered. Dahl brings it forward. And then rather wastily puts it away. That's uncharacteristic of Nicky Dahl.
But it's been the characteristic of this first half for him. He hasn't had his best game. I'm sure that Obi Shadman will be talking to him about...
Ooh. Thought for a moment that Jason Baxter was going to get caught there, and took a while for George Girardello to give the free kick. Probably the right call.
Maybe. I mean, it's... it's one of those 50-50s that if it isn't given, you could be happy with it. And if it is, you wouldn't argue.
Bain behind this free kick, and I'm sure we're going to see some distance on this one. Hunter is shadowed by Dahl. Goes towards Jervis Hamilton, who's beaten in the air by Masters. Given a good 6 or 7 inches away there. Yeah,
Nicky Masters joined the club this year. He's down from Newcastle, and he played in the local comp up there. And he's done really well. He's had a couple of runs in the first grade, been in and out of the first grade squad. And I think he's got a bit of a future.
He's defending at the moment. Hunter swings that one into the penalty area, takes a deflection, so it will be another Panthers corner. We see they're dangerous from set pieces when they get it right.
Well, they've got some big lads, so you'd expect them to do reasonably well. But if Belconnen go big with big, they should be able to deal with the corner.
Panthers looking to grab a second. 5 minutes to go to the interval. They lead live on Bar TV Sports under-20s grand final action here at Deakin Stadium. Panthers 1, Blue Devils 0. Mello, change of angle, swings it towards Hunter, couldn't quite get there. Appeal of handball from the stands only. Scott sent it forward towards Habtemariam. Mello's back to tackle.
Yeah, he's just looking a little bit off the pace, Sammy. I think the injury he's carrying is hampering his influence on the game because he isn't making runs in behind and he's just getting caught in possession once too often.
Well, there was a penalty shout. It was half-hearted from the stands. Don't think it was anything untoward.
No.
Nothing on the field, which gives you a sense of what actually happens. This is the replay of the free kick, and no arguments about that one as Belconnen get on with it. Here's Smith looking to take on Toscan again. This time Toscan wins the duel. Safety first.
It was, but it was a poor free kick from Jacob Scott. I mean, it's a ball into nowhere, easily dealt with by the Monaro defence through Mello.
De Silva, who's flitted out of it a little bit in the last few moments. After a bright opening, here's Dahl. Scott turns over, Baxter. Felici, but he runs into Makor, who's been solid for Belconnen, looking to create something forward. He's going to get it back again here, Makor. But the Panthers get rid of it. Piccolo's touch finds Smith. Here's Felici. Nice little ball to Piccolo. He's got the pace to take on Williams. Williams has the now slow to win the ball back. Well done by the central defender. Haptamariam goes down. Was he caught?
I think it was an accident. I think he just trod on his heel. I don't think he meant it, but because of the contact and the fact that you can just see he's pulled his boot off.
Yeah, I think he caught down the back of the Achilles there, more by accident than design. Free kick to the Blue Devils. Scott, De Silva. Now here's a chance for Toscan into the penalty area, opportunity. And he fires it against the post, and it comes back off of Bain straight into Moxon again, and Belconnen hit the woodwork for the second time.
Yeah, they did, and I guess you can say it's a bit unlucky, but it's a poor decision to go for the shot there when, you know, the cutback is on and he really should be trying to find a teammate in the box.
Here's Hunter. He's got acres of room for Jervis Hamilton out wide, but he can't get there. Maybe this time. Bain goes over the top for Piccolo. He's onside here, Marco Piccolo. Can he get something on target? He tries a curler. It's a good one too. It's pushed onto the crossbar. Brilliant save for Deacon Jewell, who looked in all sorts of trouble. The danger's not over yet. Here's Jervis Hamilton. And he's denied by Masters with a great effort from Piccolo and a super save from Jewell.
Once again opened up, once again caught flat, once again goalkeeper to the rescue. That's, you know, both keepers really earning their keep today.
Look, for all intents and purposes, like that was in over Deacon Jewell, but the vertical leap to get up and push it onto the crossbar has kept his team in this grand final.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, you know, it's a wonderful attempted goal, matched only by the save.
Sure, we'll check it out again in just a moment. Here's Hunter, beaten to it by Dahl. Miragis, now Haptamariam. Cut a lonely figure for most of the half, Sami Haptamariam, but here he goes. Dangerous when he gets going. Beaten to it by a combination of Bain and Mello. Masters ball forwards. Miragis tries to tricks in midfield. He's going to fall for Mako and a free kick to the Panthers. But what a chance that was for Piccolo. He's taking it down here, Stephen. This curling effort looks like it's in, and how about that for a save?
I don't know how it stayed out. What a great save. What a great attempt. Good football all round.
Chances at both ends. Woodwork struck 3 times. Good saves. It's been a very open grand final. It's just missing more goals than the one we've got. If it carries on like this, you can't see it staying 1-0, though, can you?
You wouldn't think so, would you? But you never know.
With these two goalkeepers playing the way they are. Moxon sends it forward, looking for Hunter. Good one by Williams. Nods it out of play. I guess as we enter the final 30 seconds of the first half, Paulo Romero's thinking we could be 2-0 up. Obi Sharman's thinking could be 1-1 or 2-1 our way.
Or even 3-2.
Yeah.
You know.
Either way, both sides have had their opportunities. Moxon's come a long way to get this. When he's not caught too much on it. And that's headed up towards us.
I was just about to rise then to my full height of 5'2".
And nod it straight back again. Here's Haptamariam. Challenge in midfield by Felici.
I think it's really important from both teams' point of view, but certainly for Belconnen in the last 5 minutes. They just tended to dwell on the ball a little bit in the midfield third, and they just need to move it a little bit quicker, get it moving, passing. and to get people making forward runs, and I think they'll be better off. But Monaro might be slightly guilty of it themselves, but have capitalised on Belconnen mistakes, really.
Well, Giorgio Girardello brings the half to a close, and it's the goal from Michael Piccolo after 4 minutes that separates the two sides, but that's not the story of the first half. There's chances at both ends. The woodwork's been struck at the Monaro end twice. Michael Piccolo has also struck the crossbar via a good save from Deacon Jewell. Both goalkeepers having to earn their corn, Steve.
Absolutely, and it's been the tale of the two keepers, hasn't it? The Belconnen, having conceded an early goal, rallied particularly well, created 2 or 3 good chances, and were denied by some wonderful goalkeeping. And then as Monaro came back into the game, Deacon Jewell put his name up in lights with a wonderful save, touching it onto the bar. But could be 3 or 4 for either team. 1-0 at the moment, and we can look forward to a really decent second half.
We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back for live under-20s grand final action, second half here live on Bar TV Sports at half-time. It's Monaro Panthers 1, Belconnen United 0. Welcome back to Deakin Stadium Live, NPL Under-20s Grand Final coverage between Monaro, Panthers, Belconnen United. I'm Russ Gibbs, the commentator. With me, Steve Forshaw. Steve, at half-time, Monaro leading 1-0 thanks to that goal from Michael Piccolo. Chances at both ends. Woodwick's been struck. It's 3 times overall. It's pretty much everything we want from a grand final so far.
Been really entertaining. Both teams creating chances. Both goalkeepers doing extremely well. The goalkeeper's friend has come into play on more than one occasion. They look to be lining up the same way, no changes, so we can expect more excitement, more thrills and spills.
Well, the teams then, Panthers, Moxon in goal, Braulio Mello, Rolf Bain and Bruno Mello, the back four, Baxter, Felici, Piccolo in midfield, Jervis Hamilton, Hunter and Smith, the front three, Belconnen, Jewell in goal, Toscan, Williams, Dahl and Masters. Both central midfielders, Maycourt and Scott, on yellow cards. Mirage is just in front of them, De Silva, Hampton Merriam and Whittier. You surprised to see Hampton Merriam out there?
I am a little bit. I thought he just struggled a little in the first half with, like I said, he came into the game with a niggly little injury, but obviously he's fit to continue, and we'll just watch with some interest what sort of influence he can have on the game in the second half.
Well, 45 minutes to go in the NPL 20s finals. Possibility of extra time and penalties should Belconnen equalise and the game end all square. Hunter tricks everybody by going forward. Don't see that very often these days, do you? And the Belconnen have the ball straight away with Mirages and Scott. De Silva's touch, not quite where he wanted it to go. And this is Braulio Mello on this near side. The one orange and one blue boot, Steve.
Yeah, it's an interesting
Didn't have
combination.
that in your day, did they?
No, wouldn't have been allowed in my day.
You had another pair exactly the same at home, didn't you? Here's Mirages.
You had to hammer the studs in them when I my first pair of boots.
And you had to kill the pig to inflate the bladder and get the ball
For the
ready.
ball,
And
yeah. Stuffed it with newspaper, played. It was the last time I had a good touch.
and the only. So I heard.
No need to be joining in.
Free kick for Belconnen. De Silva will take. That's payback for the jokes that everybody at home didn't hear you saying at half-time. Unfortunately, myself, Leon, and Nick on the cameras had to listen to Steve at half-time with his jokes. Moxon comes, punches it clear. Was entertaining, to be fair. I think he's available for hire for shows in Canberra throughout the week. Here's Whittier. Maycourt's ball forwards. Good piece of defending on the far side by Rolf. And here's Piccolo. Jervis Hamilton. Felici. Dawdle's on the ball, beaten to it by Hampton Merriam, but wins it back. Mello chips it forwards. Going to get a second chance to fall back, but he slips at a crucial moment. Still there, though, Bruno Mello. Lofted up towards Hunter, who they've kept relatively quiet, the Belconnen defence. It's Piccolo. Baxter gets in with the challenge.
Just had to hold up the pass then, Monaro, because they'd drifted offside. Otherwise, they might have caught Belconnen square again.
Here's Baxter. Back to Braulio, Mello. Bain just lofts that one forwards. Asks Piccolo to chase. Masters is defending. Braulio Mello gets in front of his opposite number, Miguel De Silva, who had the chance in the first half, which Moxon pushed round the post. Looked lively in the opening 20 minutes or so, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He's just drifted out of it a little bit, but I think he's still, an opportunist in front of the goal. So I think he still represents a threat for Belconnen going forward.
Here's Jervis Hamilton. Piccolo got to where it needed to go, but not quite how he wanted to. Nice touch, that's by Smith. And here come the Panthers, and it's an exchange of passes between Felici, who in the end chips it towards the far post, and it drops on the roof of the goal. Felici and Piccolo in tandem, causing problems once more for the Blue Devils.
Lovely combinations there. One touch pass and move. It's very, very hard to defend against. Just lacked a bit of quality on the cross. Otherwise, we might have been looking at a scoreline of 2.
He got in on the left-hand side, didn't he? And then just, was it a cross or did he try and chip him, do you think?
Yeah, a bit hard to say, given the benefit of the doubt.
As it is, it remains 1-0. Belconnen searching for an equaliser. Here's Scott, who's been lively throughout. Lovely ball through. Opportunity here for De Silva. He's onside, and he equalises.
No,
he's not onside. A late flag. against Miguel da Silva.
To be honest with you, my first thought was that he might have been offside. He'd gone a bit early, but that's the sort of threat he represents. He's taken that extremely well. It's a great ball through.
It was tight.
And the timing of the run is just the thing that lets him down.
It was very, very tight. Miguel da Silva denied by the offside flag.
And
So this new offside, this is the offside rule, isn't it? When you look across, you don't see the flag, and then, of course, you have to wait for him to touch the thing.
That's right. That's right.
In that situation, to become involved in play, I guess. Delphina Domoski in line with it, so better angle than we've got.
Oh, look, I think she's probably got that right. Yeah.
But a warning sign for Monaro Panthers. But Da Silva can finish if he's put in. Steve was alluding to that fact literally moments ago. It's Scott again who was involved heavily then, and you expect he'll be involved heavily throughout. He's off after this, the skipper. Stumbled and allowed Bain off the hook.
Must be a sniper in that fast end.
Mirage just wins the header.
Great team.
Opportunity perhaps to swing this into the penalty area. Wins the corner, Whittier.
Yeah, great wing play. Great touch. Got past his man. Tried to get it in the box. Excellent play by Sammy Whittier, affectionately known as Woody.
Just a reminder for everybody who's listening, at 4:30 we're live with a pre-game show for NPL Grand Final, Canberra FC v Canberra Olympic. Join myself and Steve Forshaw for a discussion on the big match that kicks off at 5. We'll be joined by Frank Keisha and Paul Mako live in the warm-up as well to get their final thoughts ahead of Grand Final day here in the nation's capital. And you can watch it all on Bar TV Sports from 4:30. Under 20s Grand Final, Belconnen searching for an equaliser. Dahl comes in, wins the header, but nods it away from goal. Clearance completed by Jervis Hamilton. Here's Piccolo, robbed by Scott. Wins it back, but concedes a throw.
Good pressure, though, from Belconnen. Didn't let him out. Nicky Dahl got on the end of it. Couldn't quite direct it goalwards, but Belconnen just starting to find a little bit of pressure.
Up to Merriam. Back to Makor, which he has got himself a bit of space. Can he deliver? Goes down into the challenge and will win the free kick. Dangerous position, this.
Yeah. And Whittier, I mean, he's confident enough after his spell in the first grade to be taking his man on, and just, give him half a yard and he's capable of actually really delivering either a cross or spectacular goal. Scored a couple for Belconnen this year.
Da Silva over the free kick, denied by the offside flag moments ago. Thought he had brought his side level for a moment. Can he find the right set piece? Chipped in towards the middle, it's a good one. Good piece of defending by Rolf. There's a chance perhaps on the break for the Panthers. They've got a bit of pace. Coming across to tidy up is Williams.
That's a really composed bit of play, isn't it?
Yeah, Jewell has given him it straight back. Good press this by the Panthers. Piccolo's got Williams facing the wrong way. Jewell needs to be careful, and he shanked that rather. Out of the ground, in fact.
Yeah, undoes all the good work that Harry Williams had actually done in the lead up to that.
Probably needed to open his body and go the other way rather than give him the ball back, didn't he?
Yeah.
Put Williams into a bit of a situation because Piccolo was right on his back. Gives Bradley O'Mello the chance to keep his team pegged in the corner. Masters concedes a throw. Haven't seen much of Hunter today, but he's been well marshalled by Williams and Dahl at the back.
Well, he'll do well to actually get the better of those two. They're two very, very good young players. But they have marshalled him well, you're right. And I still think, as is the case with Da Silva at the other end, that he give him half a chance and he might just get himself on a score sheet.
Felici tried to just then, didn't get anything on the shot there, didn't trouble Deacon Jewell, who we saw make a spectacular save from Piccolo in the first half. That one bounces all the way through to Habta Merriam, who brings it under control. Chance of Belconnen with Whittier.
No width now, though. And Masters is trying to give him some width, but Da Silva had tucked in.
Well, Scott finds Masters in the penalty area. Chance on the left foot. Keeper gets a save on it. The rebound is spooned wide from Lucas Miragis. Couldn't wrap his foot round it when the goal was gaping.
It's another chance gone begging, and these are just starting to mount up now.
Masters forces the save from Moxon. It's a decent save again, isn't it?
It is, but he's parried it back into the middle of the box, and Miragis really should be doing better. He's on his good foot. He's left footer. He really should be finishing that off.
He couldn't get his foot around it enough, could he, to wrap it back towards the goal. Another chance goes begging. Another good save, though, from Ryan Moxon. 4 decent stops now.
He's really making a name for himself, isn't he?
Well, Hunter belatedly gets after this, and Jewell has to come and clear. There's a mismatch in size and title weight there, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Keeper, though, safety first, gets it into touch, and Panthers, no rush to get on with it. We've still got half an hour plus to go. We've only played 10 minutes of the second half. Here's Baxter, a bit early to be wasting a bit of time.
I would expect, though, that within the next 10 or so minutes, Obi Shadman, if the scoreline doesn't change, will be thinking, I've got to freshen things up and give himself some more firepower. And he might be looking at Noeli, who's on his bench, to try and come in and create something for Belconnen.
He's got Eric Noeli, El Hadji Sese, Matt Kocic, Stefan Vukic, and Finn Durack as his substitutes.
Yeah. Well, there's some talent there, but it's a little inexperienced.
Piccolo, nice touch for Jervis Hamilton. He's got Hunter as the only option in the middle, and Williams needed to get a foot in. It's back out for Jervis Hamilton again. He tries to force it into the penalty area. Dahl is there, and the Blue Devils survive that one.
Yeah, they scrambled pretty well, but Monaro creating some opportunities of their own there.
Jervis Hamilton, very unselfish, trying to find Hunter in the middle.
It was the right thing to do. It was just well defended by the boys in blue.
Yeah, Williams using all his nous to get in the way. He's Scott. Masters, who was denied by Moxon in that build-up a couple of minutes back. Scott once more. Led by example, the skipper.
He's done well, but that's not a good ball.
It's a bit short. Unfortunately for Blue Devils, Felici didn't make the most of it. Here's Dahl. Scott again. Looks to lift it over towards Masters. It's going to fall for Hampton Merriam. Mirages.
Yeah.
And the shot from De Silva is blocked by Jarrah Bain.
Mirages hasn't seen it, but Whittier is in acres down the right-hand side, and a little pass out to his teammate creates an overload and a really good opportunity.
His Masters. Dahl. What can he do? He looks for Whittier. Whittier might be able to bring this down. 2 players on him straight away. Belconnen looking to build something, but Piccolo has won it in midfield from Maycor. A twist and turn. And Felici finds Mello. It's Belconnen's turn to get turnover ball. A chance perhaps to get in the channels, but defending well is Felici back there helping out. That's calm and cool.
It is.
He tries to find Braulio Mello. Jervis Hamilton, that's a little bit short for Baxter. It's been picked off by Maycor. Hampton Merriam.
Yeah, it's a poor turn.
They've
Just play the 1-2, yeah.
There's a chance on the break. That was Marshall Smith. Been quiet at the start of the second half. Good touch that. Here's Mirages, and it's just going to roll through
Yes.
to Moxon.
Young player, I mean, Lucas Mirages is only 16. He's a very young player. Got a lot of potential, but you see little mistakes like that during a game where he could take that with his left foot, the inside of his left foot, rather than go with the outside of his right, and you get a better touch. And when you don't get the touch, of course, opportunities go missing.
Masters finds Dahl. Put in by Jervis Hamilton. Dahl's there again. Gets it back from Maycor. This is promising. Nick Dahl advancing from the back again.
But again, no width. De Silva goes inside and really doesn't stretch the back four.
And Bain wins it. And off on the run is Smith in behind. Toscan had read his intentions. Here's Bain again. Long way out. Just to lift it across towards Hunter. Might fall for Bain, who's lining one up, and in the end he's only lined up Nick Masters. And Belconnen look to play the advantage. Here's De Silva. Cuts in field, and Baxter's there. Calmly done.
Yeah, just running into traffic. And here we see a change, and it's not what I would have anticipated, but first-grade goalkeepers coming on to try and save the game for Belconnen.
We can't see the board, it's just not working for some reason. Look at that. There you go. I can just about make it out. Finn Durack is coming on. And it's Sam Hampton-Merriam who's coming off. And we were here a couple of weeks ago when we had a goalkeeper come off the bench for Kuma Tigers in first grade, Cody Nash, and make a difference.
Yeah.
This is different.
This is different. I mean, I don't know how you react to this, because if you're a player being taken off for what is nominally a goalkeeper, you're probably a little disappointed. And if you're on the bench and it's the goalkeeper coming on before you, you're not much happier.
But the flying Finn, we usually see him diving around his goal, making saves and keeping his team in matches, and here he is looking to add something up front.
And Monaro are making a change as well.
They haven't brought their sub-keeper on, have they?
No.
Mitchell Jervis-Hamilton, who's worked very, very hard.
He's had quite a good game.
He's coming off. He's worked hard, hasn't he, as a left winger? And it's Ollie Stegovac, the first grade Norwegian, who's going to get some action.
Is there a second grade Norwegian?
The first grade Norwegian football, I should say. You know what I mean. Played a lot of first grade football. Ollie Stegovac. I think he's classed as an overage player, probably.
Oh, he would be, yeah.
So interesting changes for both teams. One predictable, I'd guess. The winger Stegovac on to add his quality. The other perhaps not so. But here is Durack looking to get on the end of it. Moxon comes out to deny him.
Well, he will bring a lot of enthusiasm.
Slides into that challenge. It's going to buzz around the field, it looks like, doesn't it? Might be entertaining last half an hour for everybody here. Belconnen go for broke, in fact. Is Mirage's touch. That's nicely done by Ferlizzi. And Mello sends it towards Hunter.
Well, we creep into the last half an hour and it's still 1-0 Monaro.
Durack's after this. And he's in behind here, the goalkeeper, off the bench. Finn Durack, immediate impact. Here's Scott. Straight away.
Oh, look. The flying Finn, no doubt about it.
Here he is, looking to scoop it in the middle. It's won his team a corner.
Give him another 5 minutes, he'll be breathing.
I was going to say, I wonder how long you can keep this up for. Good energy from Finn Durack. That's what you want as a substitute, isn't it?
He loves playing on the park. At training with the first grade, on the park as often as he can, and he is just got so much enthusiasm and passion for the game.
Every goalkeeper loves being on the park, doesn't he? That's his corner swung in. It's a good one, too, on the far post. And would you believe it? It's 1-1.
Woody.
It's been nodded in by Sam Whittier, who swapped wings. And what a delivery that was. And Belconnen a level.
Well, it goes down as a coaching masterstroke to bring on Finn Durack, because it's his corner, hit with pace to the far post, is met brilliantly by Sam Whittier, Woody as we know him, and it brings in the equaliser.
Came from nothing, really, didn't it? There was the corner. We just saw it again on the replay. Lovely ball in, and Whittier's peeled off, and no one's gone with him. And in the end, it's a fairly simple finish from Whittier, but the run's made it.
Absolutely. Great delivery, great run, great finish. And for all the combination play and lovely play that has actually brought the chances that Belconnen have missed, it comes from a corner in the end, a set piece. But they won't mind. They will not be caring.
One hell of a delivery from Durack as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a great ball.
On the spot.
Great ball.
Here he is again. Mirages. Durack once more.
Oh, he's the go-to man now.
Maybe he should have paid him on the field in first grade, Steve.
We might have to next year.
Eat your heart out, Dustin Wells. There he is, winning tackles on the ground as well. Scott.
Just give me the ball, he says.
He's buzzing, isn't he? Nice turn.
Yes.
And here's Masters. It's Mirages who found him, fires it in towards the area, and De Silva had stolen a march on the Panthers' back four, couldn't stretch to get on the end of it.
No, I think Masters is having a shot, but it nearly turned out to be the perfect assist.
You see it again, Steve. He's a long way out, isn't he? I think you're right. I think he's tried his luck for ambitious effort from long range.
But great anticipation by De Silva. Nearly got himself on the end of that, and that's 2-1. Belconnen in the ascendancy, but as we are, it's 1-1.
It's an incredible substitution, as you said, from Obi Shardman.
He'll be letting everybody know next week and all.
Didn't expect it. Expect the unexpected on grand final day. We always should expect that, shouldn't we? Because it always happens. It's a goal scorer. Which
he's naturally left-footed, Woody, but he actually is more comfortable playing on the left.
It's got De Silva. There's no one in the blue shirt in the penalty area, and that's a good challenge back from Bain. Concedes the corner. It's actually well done that from De Silva. Looked up, saw there was no one there.
That's
so
right. Yeah, just played
waiting for the challenge, played for the corner. Here comes Durack again.
Oh, you want this.
Is he going to get the opportunity?
And could history repeat? Nicky Dahl scored with a header to make it 2-1 in the grand final last year. Can he get on the end of this?
In the first grade grand final, of course. This is the under-20s. We're in the first grade at 5 o'clock tonight. De Silva's turn to swing one into the penalty. It's a good one too, and Dahl is in and around there. The shot comes in, and would you believe it, it's another one. It's Bailey Toscan, I think.
It's Bailey Toscan.
It's 2-1 to the Blue Devils, and they've turned this on its head.
Bailey Toscan is a product of the Belconnen sort of pathway. He played with the under-18s last year. Didn't score all year. Hasn't scored all year this year, and now he's got himself a goal in the grand final. And if Belconnen's substitutes have worked, arguably Monaro's haven't. And it's cut 2 from a corner.
I'll tell you what, that's a good finish. Whittier was in there, and the snap half volley from Bailey Toscan, taking everybody by surprise. And the Blue Devils, from 1-0 down, are 2-1 up.
And it's certainly, since the arrival of...
Now here's Stegovic, and he's trodden on the ball. He was in for a moment. Baxter. Felici. Have Monaro got a response now? They'll be wondering how they're not at least level. For 2 moments, it's taken the introduction of Finn Durack to change it around, doesn't it?
It has.
Here he is again.
And because they pushed De Silva into the 9, it's given them pace on both sides of the park and a little bit of guile through the middle, because De Silva's running is quite clever off the ball, and Whittier and Durack are going to give him a lot of impetus going forward down the flanks.
Stegovic was in there for a moment though, wasn't he?
He was, and he should have done better. Yeah, he should have done better.
For a recognised first grade player, that was a good chance. Panthers not out of this though.
2-1, it's anybody's game.
Here's Rolf. Now Mello, he's got a bit of space. Can he pick the right option? Durack is back, and there he is winning another tackle. He's given his team a lift, hasn't he? The energy. It's
unbelievable. Unbelievable. They've all lifted another 25%. There's no doubt about it.
An hour into the game, and they looked a bit on the back foot as if they're a bit sluggish. Now it's a different Belconnen side. It's De Silva who's got into the penalty area. Miguel De Silva, real chance here, but he's picked it behind Whittier. Could have finished it off there.
He could have. I don't think Whittier's run helped him much.
Thought he might have gone for goal himself. There's a ball towards the far post. Flag goes up against Durack. But again,
a great move. I mean, this is just quick thinking from the throw, puts De Silva in behind.
Similar to the turn that Stricker got in the other week in the qualification final, Steve, when he was brought down by Pavlak.
Absolutely.
But lovely bit of play. Hunter goes in with a thumping challenge with Dahl, who comes out on top. Everything's dropping for those in blue at the moment.
And it's because they've raised their intensity. They're actually winning every second ball. They're in front of things.
Whittier. This is what finals football does for you. Here's Durack lining one up. Good touch. But a keeper goes down in the area. Bit soft, that one. Not going to get a penalty there. Dahl beats Hunter to it. Scott. Belconnen pushing for what could be a killer third. Swung in towards De Silva. Braulio Mello wins it. Stegovic with the acrobatic clearance.
It's one-way traffic at the moment, and as long as Belconnen maintain their concentration and keep the back door shut, they're in box seat to win this.
Masters crossfield looks for Durack, who's not got on the end of that one, and Felici helps it clear.
Let's see what Monaro can do now. A little bit of possession won't go astray.
Baxter, tidy ball forward to Piccolo. He's got runners ahead of him. One of them is Smith. Good challenge by Toscan. He'll be buzzing as well, having scored the goal, which has put his team ahead. Durack. We often say before, we said it in commentary throughout the year, Steve, come finals time, it's often the players that you're not expecting that come up trumps, and Bailey Toscan, probably one of the least likely goal scorers on this Belconnen under-20 side.
Certainly, if you were picking a likely match winner, you would be looking in front of Bailey Toscan, but he's popped up with a goal, he's taken it well, and it's all down to the enthusiasm that's risen as a result of the introduction of Finn Durack.
Smith is off. This is James Nazir, who's come on for him. Flicked away by Bain. Hunter. Bain again. Falls down after he goes past the challenge. Scott finds Maycore, bit of space for Whittier. His switch of flanks has proved dividends so far. Wins inside a corner.
Yeah, they're on top at the moment. I wouldn't suggest for one moment that Monaro are out of it, but Belconnen have taken the initiative and don't look likely to surrender it at this stage.
It's been an entertaining under-20s grand final here live on Bar TV Sports. Monaro Panthers 1, Belconnen United 2.
Last two corners have resulted in goals. So.
Well, it's that man Durack with this one. We saw what he did with his last set piece. What can he do with this one? It's another good one towards the far post. Falls from Miragis. Clips it back in towards Dahl, who heads it goalwards. Mello was there to clear. Helped on its way by Stegovic. Panthers can't get out at the moment. They might now. Given it away by Stegovic to Scott. With Whittier. Skips into the penalty area. Off he goes on a run opportunity here. Pulls it back. Is this 3? It could be. It's a great save. Once again from Ryan Moxon.
Well, that does keep his team in the game. Whittier does extremely well.
Miguel De Silva thinking, what do I need to do to score?
Absolutely.
Here it is again. Whittier's in the area. Pulls it back and De Silva looks dead set like he's going to make it 3. And what a stop that is from Moxon.
Fantastic save.
That's 5, I think now, isn't he?
Look, it could have been a cricket score. Could have been a cricket score.
And we're not talking just routine saves. They're
no,
good
we're
ones
talking
too.
really, really good saves. And you're talking about really good football to create the chances.
Corner comes in, volleyed clear.
He's looking tired now.
Finchurak, yeah, maybe they'll sub him.
There's no more goalkeepers on the bench.
He's done his dash. Someone who has done his dash is Lucas Miragis.
Not a bad change this because of the fact that he's carrying an eye injury. So I think getting some fresh legs on won't hurt Belconnen.
They snuck someone on here, I haven't seen. Who's come on, Steve, did you see?
No.
Going to play with 10. Here's Durack.
Oh, maybe they are. Maybe they've just sent him off for some treatment.
Well, maybe they have. Maybe he's got some blood on his shirt or something, and I thought it was a substitution, but maybe it's not. Getting something done. Maybe he's got a spot of claret there, Steve.
Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like just a finger injury or something.
Here's Hunter from Baxter. Here's the substitute Nazir. Nazir puts it into the area, but didn't get enough pace on the cross, and it's easy for Harry Williams.
Situation there where Hunter actually creates the opportunity for the cross, so he's not in the box. And realistically, if Monaro are going to get something out of the cross, they need Hunter to be on the end of it.
Trying to get Miragis back on the field of play. They're playing with 10 at the moment, Belconnen. Here's De Silva, who hasn't scored yet, and I'm not sure quite how he hasn't. 1 disallowed for offside, 2 outstanding saves from Moxon. Could have had a hat-trick. That's a heavy touch from Maycore. Opening up a bit now. Felici drops his shoulder. Looks to find Nazir. He's got away here. Flag stays down. Nazir chance to deliver into the penalty area for 2-2, but Stegovic has spurned the opportunity. Got goal side, real chance. The pressure on him, I think, from Masters maybe is just done just enough to put off the Norwegian.
Yeah, this is a great counter-attack. Lovely ball in behind the fullback. Substitute does really well, and yeah, he's just done enough, hasn't he, the fullback? Just to put enough pressure on him and get him off balance. But
realistically, though, should be 2-2.
He'll be thinking he should have done better. But it came as a result of Maycore's heavy touch further up the field, and that just left the midfield exposed, and then it exacerbated by the slip by Jacob Scott, and that was put Monaro in. So at 2-1, you've got to be really careful.
17 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Belconnen Blue Devils leading 2-1 against the Panthers under-20 grand final action here on Bar TV Sports, and it's been action from the word go. Since Michael Piccolo gave the Panthers a fourth-minute lead, could quite easily, Steve, without the 2 goalkeepers, be something like 4-4 or 5-4 or something like that.
Could have seen a lot more goals than we had. The goalkeepers have been tremendous.
Is Stegovic, who missed that chance just a moment ago. Mello. Good tracking back from Miragis, who's patched up
And rejoined us.
Can't see a plaster on him at all, is it just on the finger maybe? Hunter. Again, Nick Dahl. Not giving him a moment's peace all afternoon, is he? Nick
No,
Dahl.
no. I think you've got to be a little bit smarter in situations like that. You're up against two, potential first-grade players.
Well, hang on a moment, Steve, because Mirages has got in behind off of a lovely flick from Durack. Swings it towards the far post. De Silva's there. Arriving is Whittier. Can't get under that one there. That was always sitting up on him.
Yeah, a little bit of communication there. I think De Silva's run just sort of put him off a little bit of a call earlier, and he was in. Lovely ball from Mirages and a lovely counter-attack from Belconnen.
Another change for Monaro Panthers.
One of the Mellow boys going off.
It's Bruno, the right back.
So is this caution to the wind now? We push on. They look like they push 4 up front.
It's Bain. Dawdled on the ball a little.
That's the sort of effort that both teams... Oh, didn't come in.
Panthers looking for an equaliser, needing to find a way back. They've got 15 minutes to find one, if they can.
Well, there's plenty of time. Time's not their enemy just yet. It's whether they can actually breach this tight Belconnen defence.
Mellow's ball. Touch was on there, and that was slammed forward by Lachlan Terry, the substitute, who's come on for Bruno Mello.
That was pretty average. It was a great ball. Got him in behind, but his attempted cross was not one that he'll want to see again.
Not the best of times since he's come on, has he, Stegovic?
No.
Trod on the ball, went through one-on-one, had a chance to equalise, which he spurned, and that moment just there. Got some quality in him, though. Getting into the positions, that's the most important thing right about this time, isn't it? And there's Durack, off down the channel, the willing runner again.
Nope. Take the ball with you, Finn.
Leaves it behind. Mellow's there, but he's battling back again to try and win it. So much energy, it's incredible to see. Nice touch from Felici. And Dahl had more time than he thought. Safety first from his point of view, though. Just get it out of the ground and regroup at the back.
Yeah.
Bradley and Mello throws into Baxter. He's going to get it back, the fullback. Finds Rolfe.
This touch isn't a good one. Takes all the sting out of the attack.
Terry. That's nice. Steps away from the first challenge. Finds Nazir, who's cross earlier, created the opportunity. This is better for the Panthers. Felici opens up for him for a moment, but it's quickly shut out by those in blue. And that's nicely done, and that probably is going to be a yellow card for Lachlan Terry.
It's a bit unfortunate. I mean, he just doesn't mean to make that sort of challenge. He's just the Toscan has nipped in quickly, poked it past him, and he's collected him on a late challenge.
And Benny Toscan going to be in no rush to get up, I wouldn't have thought.
No.
Got a hefty one there, didn't he? I was just watching the replay again, and yeah,
I caught it. No
Terry's
doubt.
gone for the ball,
Yeah.
to be fair, and didn't get anywhere near it in the end. Caught Bailey Toscan, who caught the ball superbly around about the 65th minute mark, didn't he, to lash in the goal after Whittier caused all sorts of problems off the corner, and Bailey Toscan's goal is the one that divides the teams and put the Belconnen Blue Devils 2-1 up after they were 1-0 down. The team that finished fourth in the league, remember, some 14 points off of top spot. That's final football. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it the hard way.
Yeah, probably all the more satisfying.
And then, of course, raises all those questions once again about a team in fourth winning a grand final, blah, 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 that we get every year when teams upset the odds. Durack's ball in. It's what makes this day so incredible, isn't it? Because you can't pick it. It doesn't matter what's happened before. It's just on the day itself.
Absolutely. I mean, nobody's worried about how you got to the grand final. It's about what you do when you get here. And at the moment, Belconnen are doing enough.
And speaking of games you can't pick, 5 o'clock this evening, first grade grand final, Canberra FC v Canberra Olympic. That one could go either way. Should be an absolute belter. Join us from 4:30 for live pre-game show from the field, Steve.
On the field.
I'm taking a wager on which one of the players will smack the ball in our direction during the live broadcast.
Are the sprinklers coming on?
I'm sure Thomas James and Matt Gerbisher are my favourites to do that. I'm pretty sure you'll be wearing one at one stage.
There's half a chance.
But we'll try and discuss what's going on for first grade and build the occasion a little bit. That's the whole point of the show. So let's hope it all goes according to plan. That's a bit later on today from 4:30. Plenty of football between now and then, at least 10 minutes here. Possibility, of course, of extra time, so we will see. To get that extra half an hour, though, we need the Panthers to equalise. They have threatened. Here's Piccolo, who opened the scoring. Seems a long time ago now.
It was, yeah.
Jurek shifts that one forwards. Bain. Now Terry. Hunter beaten to it by Williams on that occasion. And Toscan can find Dahl. Williams. So calm in possession and then coughed it up, unfortunately. Stegovic, what can he do?
They've just come back into it, and Belconnen just seemed to have taken the foot off the pedal a bit.
Mello sends it in there, and Williams had to stretch his frame, and it comes off his thigh, and it will be a corner. You think Hunter's going to get one chance, isn't he? He hasn't had one today. You think he's going to get one before the end of the game?
And I think he only needs one.
He's shown throughout the season that he can score goals. As I mentioned, he scored in the round 6 game at Riverside Stadium in a 2-1 Belconnen win. He scored in the 4-2 Monaro win at McKellar Park in round 15. He scored twice in the qualification final here, the 4-2 win over Gungahlin. And he also scored plenty throughout the season. And they'll be hoping, Monaro, that he can get on the end of one of these before the end. Swung into the penalty area by Terry. It's broken clear towards Stegovic. Out for a throw.
Yeah. They're just mounting a little bit of pressure here, and if they can capitalise, we could be heading for extra time.
Baxter. Good ball into Felici. Little pocket of space. Tries to chip it in towards Hunter. And a free kick given against the big striker.
It was a hard ball for him to deal with, wasn't it? It was a sort of nothing ball for him to get on the end of. And playing it directly through the middle is just going to make it that much harder. Al-Haji Sese coming on, and it looks like... No, not yet.
He's been forced to wait. Definitely ready to come, isn't he?
Yeah.
There's Miragis. Whittier. Bit of space on this side. Unfortunately for the Blue Devils, Mako slipped when he was trying to find Durack. And here come the Panthers. Mello. Stegovic outside him. Looks to turn in fields. Baxter, whose passing's been very good today, and that's another decent-looking one towards Nazir, but picked off by Dahl.
Toscan, I think it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Apologies to Bailey Toscan. Here's Durack. Step over from Durack, and he's in the penalty area here, Finn Durack, and tried to square it off to De Silva, who was lurking again, and he's having a party out there, isn't he, Finn Durack? He's enjoying every minute of this.
I know he's trialling with the youth league team, the A-League youth league.
That's a striker?
Yeah.
Or a creative midfielder.
They might have to rethink his positioning.
Here he is again. Got a good touch for a keeper. Scott, who's been close to man of the match for those in blue. It's been excellent. If it wasn't for the heroics of Moxon in the Panthers' goal. He's been outstanding, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He might have some work to do again before the end.
Well, you would think that Belconnen are going to get chances on the counter now.
Bain has fairly lashed that forwards.
Yeah.
We thought that's what he'd do with his free kick earlier.
I bet he's wishing he didn't.
His Masters looking for the run ahead of De Silva. Nicely done. Good touch to Moragis. And he stumbles as he tries to go past Rolf, and they've both come off worse there. A little bit of a collision, and play goes on as Stekovic looked to get on the end of that. After I knew Usain Bolt wouldn't have got on that one.
No, but it's not a bad idea. The pass was overweighted, but it wasn't a bad idea, and they cut Belconnen up in the middle of the park, and that's the way forward. If they can get some forward runs and some decent passing, they'll be okay.
Yeah, if they can get Piccolo and Felici on the ball more, they could have an opportunity this last 6 or 7 minutes, because those two have been absolutely excellent. Here's the change that you mentioned, Steve. Al-Haji Sese is coming on. Can't see the board. That board doesn't show us at all, does it, from here? You can't see the numbers at all. Number 7, perhaps, does that say? Is it Whittier?
I've no idea. Nobody's coming off, apparently.
Nobody wants to come off. It's a free kick, and are we going to make this change?
I don't know.
Poor old Haji Sese, he's been trying to come off for half an hour. He's still on the sideline, and it's still not happening. Here we are, it's a change.
And it is Whittier.
Whittier coming off. His goal brought Belconnen level in the 62nd minute. It was the first of 2 in 3 minutes. Here's Ryan Moxon, who's made those 5 saves that we talked about, some crackers. He's been tasked with a free kick. This one is going to drop in the danger area, you would think. We've got 6 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Can Moxon pick someone out with this set piece? Clips it towards Baxter. The bounce is in the danger area, and Deacon Jewell had to come and gather. Now the break might be on if he can find Scott. Durack, rather, who runs into a challenge from Mello, wins his team a free kick. Well done, Finn Durack. That was good play from the goalkeeper. Good ball in from Moxon, and unfortunately, if Baxter had got a touch on that, there could have been problems.
Yeah. But in the end, comfortably dealt with. Deacon Jewell's handling good, and he's read the situation reasonably well, and the counter was on, apart from the obstruction by Brella.
Wasn't much else he could do, was there? Durack could knock the ball past him. He's lining up this free kick. Looking to launch one into the area. It's another good one in towards the substitute, Sese, who was on the far post. This should be easy for Moxon.
Talk about goalkeepers having an influence on the game. We've got 3 on the pitch.
They've all been excellent in different ways. Here's Sese. Now Scott. De Silva. I think Sharman would have rather he brought that one down. Moxon sends it towards Nazir. I think that was Nazir, yes it was. Dahl just smashes that straight back down the park. Nice touch from De Silva. Sese picks up the pieces. Into the area, Sese, and a good challenge by Rolf. He's struggling a little bit. I think that was from that coming together a little bit earlier with Scott in the middle of the park.
Well, it's been played at a good intensity as well, so there might be a little bit of fatigue creeping in one way there, but he does look to have picked up a knock.
4 minutes plus stoppage time to go if the Panthers are going to find a way back in. It's a good little run from Sese, a little cameo of what he can do. This is a bit too early for this just yet, you'd think.
Yeah. I mean, why you would have one of your 6s in there trying to do that, I don't know.
Going to see another change from Belconnen.
And this is another defender coming on for an attacker, so it looks like they're just shutting up shop.
So Miragis coming off.
Yeah. Stefan Vukic coming on. Just recently returned from Melbourne with the schoolboys, where he did very well.
Scott's dropped deeper. Only one blue shirt in the penalty area. They're really not bothered about getting a third at the moment, are they?
No.
Belconnen looking to see this one out with 3 minutes plus stoppage time to go. The throw in on that far side, which Durack will take. It's a corner, in fact. My apologies.
Yeah. I really think Monaro should just throw players forward now. Don't worry about how many players you get in the box.
Scott tried to drive one goalwards. Bounces off Vukic. Moxon's there and he just thumps it up the field, and Stegovic will chase, and Dahl comes across. It's coming together, and Masters sends it back to where it came. Lovely touch from Vukic. Nice little ball too, looking for De Silva over the top. But Moxon's there, and as you say, Steve, they need to start throwing caution to the wind here. Here's Felici. May as well lose 3-1 as 2-1.
Yeah. I mean, there's no tomorrow. This is it.
You wouldn't begrudge them their equaliser from a neutral standpoint. They've done well. Just haven't quite found that final touch when it was required. But Belconnen have had the better chances, and Moxon's been the busier of the 2 goalkeepers. So probably fair at the moment. Here's Bain. That's nicely done. Looks to play it forward towards Nazir. And that's just shinned away by Harry Williams. Time ticking down, 90 seconds to go. Is there a dramatic finale? We've seen some dramatic finales throughout the year on Bar TV Sports at all grades and in the men's and women's. Here's Rolf. knees it forward and goes into the challenge. Breaks for Felici, but there's Durack, the man of the moment. And he just bundles it out of play, and that's wasting a few more seconds. Terry wants to get on with this. Hunter probably a lot further from goal where they want him at the moment. It bounces, Jewell needs to come, and he does. Gathers for Belconnen.
Gathers and goes to ground just to eat up a few seconds.
Less than 60 of them to go, Steve.
Yeah.
Belconnen under-20s standing on the verge of coming from 4th to win the competition. Baxter touch lets him down for perhaps the first time in the game. Here's Durack looking to touch and go, and he's away again here, but Terry comes back at him to win the ball, and here's Nazir. Caught late, free kick.
That's silly.
So it's going to be a second yellow card here, is it, for Rob Scott? For Scott, did he get booked in the first half?
I don't think so, no.
I thought he said, Jacob Scott, I thought he had a card in the descent area, in the wall.
It mustn't have been him.
Maybe it wasn't.
No. Otherwise he'd be going off now, wouldn't he?
Must have been someone else.
And Matty Kokic gets a taste of it as well as Miguel Silva leaves the fray, leaves the game.
Matty Kokic. And everybody is forwards. Moxon's going to take the free kick. Everybody in a green and black shirt is on the edge of the box. Everybody in a blue shirt is back there defending. There's nobody in the half to our left, Steve, not even the kangaroo from earlier in this year. Moxon lifts it into the penalty area towards the far post. It's one in the air by Bain. Scott's there, collides with Kochic, who's only just come on. Here's Sese. There's nobody in the goal at the other end. Off he goes, but the whistle is blown. It matters not. Belconnen United win the under-20 grand final. A come-from-behind win. An underdog win. 4th place on the ladder to grand final champions. Thank you very much, as they would say.
Yeah, and they're retaining the title that they actually won last year. So, fantastic effort from the boys in blue. Full credit to Monaro, who made a hell of a game of it and took an early lead and looked for all money like they might hang on to it. Belconnen created a lot of chances, but in Moxon, Monaro had probably had the player of the match. His goalkeeping has been absolutely exemplary. In the end, 2 set pieces have brought them undone, with a header from Whittier to create the equaliser, and then Bailey Toscan, the most surprising of match winners, tucks it home, and probably with his left foot too.
The Panthers, you'd say, when they scored early, Steve, and they had chances after that, and Piccolo's curler, which was pushed onto the crossbar, they'll feel a little bit hard done by in that sense. But as you said, the best player on the park was Ryan Moxon. 5 outstanding saves. Yeah. Otherwise, the score may have been anything.
And look, I think Belconnen have probably shaded this one, and 2-1 isn't an unfair result. But Monaro will take a lot out of this as they go forward and look forward to season 2019. They've unearthed quite a lot of young talent that can push into their first grade next year. They did have their chances to actually extend the lead in the first half. Wasn't to be, and Deacon Jewell made that wonderful save, tipping the ball onto the bar when it looked for all money that it was going to be 2-0. But in the end, Belconnen, worthy winners.
1-0 down, 2-1 up. The Blue Devils take home the cup in the MPL under-20s. Michael Piccolo's goal after 4 minutes gave the Panthers the perfect start, but 2 goals within 3 minutes around the hour mark in the second half have done it for the Belconnen. Sam Whittier equalising with a header at the far post, and then Bailey Toscan with a rasping left foot drive into the top corner via the hands of the otherwise excellent Ryan Moxon has given the Blue Devils the victory. We'll be back at 4:30 for live pre-game coverage from Deakin Stadium of the MPL Grand Final between Canberra FC and Canberra Olympic with myself, Russ Gibbs, and Steve Forshaw. Thanks for your company, Steve.
See you then.
Have a bit of a break. It's finished here at the MPL 20s Grand Final. Monaro Panthers 1, Belconnen United 2.